Hello everybody, I'm Kyle, your garden guy, and today myself and Mayford are going to be teaching you exactly how you can turn this bowl into an awesome, sexy salad bowl. That's right guys, we're going to be growing some lettuce, cucumbers and tomatoes in one pot so you have awesome salad to pick right at your fingertips. Alright guys, so how do we grow a summer salad bowl? Now, you want to start off by picking a nice big container, right? Look at this dude, he's huge! And you want to make sure you have enough space for all of these plants to have air movement going through and enough light and enough water for everybody, right? So that's step one, pick a nice big container. Now this dude's going to be quite fine for what I have in mind. And I've already filled this up with a nice potting mixture, which will make sure that our plants are nice and happy once they germinate. So you want to start off by evening out the surface of your soil in the container, and then comes a special little tip called potgrond, and that's going to be our first layer on top of our potting soil. So basically you want to add a nice layer and you want to even it out and just firm that into place. So do that all along your container. So two really nice things I like to have around when I'm sowing seed and working with seeds is one, a bucket of water, and two, a dishcloth, a drying cloth. Right, why? You want to rinse off your hands and get them dry before you start touching those seeds. Right, now it's time to get planting, and this is my favorite part. I love doing this. Right, so when it comes to growing plants, especially in containers, and especially when you're growing similar plants together, or when you're growing plants together in a container, and really when it comes to something you want to harvest at the same time, you want to make sure these plants have similar requirements. Okay, so it's really important that you pick plants which have similar water requirements, similar light requirements, and that you can harvest in the same amount of time. Now all of these do that for you. Some of my favorite guys are these little dudes, the bite-sized tomatoes from Mayford, right? These are delicious. If you're an avid gardener, you'll know exactly how fun and delicious it is to stroll into the garden and pick it and eat it right off the plant. Now, this takes it one step further, even better. In a container, outside of your kitchen window or the door, right there while you're cooking, you could have your tomatoes, your cucumbers, and your lettuce all in one pot, right? An entire salad you could pick, harvest and eat right there, fresh as can be. I'm going to start off by sowing the tomatoes. Now, as always with Mayford seeds, there's very clear instructions on the back of the packet that really help you out when it comes to spacing these plants, and also they'll tell you whether they're capable or whether they're compatible for sowing in direct soil, or whether you want to sow them in a seedling tray and then plant out those little seedlings into the garden. All right, now for this little secret, or this little special we're doing over here, I'm going to be sowing them directly, and that means in situ we're going to have our entire salad flourish. Right, so let's start off with the tomatoes. So once your packet is open, you'll see there's a ton of seeds in here, and some of you will know what I like to do is to open this packet into a paper. Okay, now I'm going to do this over our sowing surface just so we don't lose any of our seeds. Basically, you want to empty the entire packet into a flat paper, and look at that. We empty it out so that we could easily select the seeds and see how many we need for our planting. Okay, so of this entire packet, I'm only going to need a few. Now remember, one plant makes more than one tomato, okay? So you don't need as many as you think. So in this entire pot, I'm only going to plant a few of them, and I like to plant about 3 or 4 seeds at a time, and as they mature you'll come and thin them out, okay, and sort of pick the ones you think will perform best. And I've only, in this entire pot, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 5 different spots. I've planted these seeds, and I've sown a few seeds on every spot, and as they mature I'm going to come and thin them out until there's only one tomato plant in every location. Okay, and as these plants mature, we'll give them little sticks and stakes, and we'll tie them down to those to make sure they're supported and that there's enough airflow in this bowl we've got going here. Okay, so there's our tomatoes all in place, Now, what I'm doing now is I'm just firming them down into this potgrond. Now, what's really cool about these 3 different types of seeds from Mayfords is that they mature at the same time. Now, most of these you want to be growing in summer, hence a summer salad bowl, right? So let's get into sowing our cucumbers next. Follow the instructions as to how far we want to spread them apart. And these are a lot larger than the tomatoes. Right, so here's all our tomato seeds, and here you can see are the cucumbers. Now these guys are quite a bit larger, and no, they're not blue seeds. They've been treated so that you know they're going to germinate, right? Which means you're going to get terrific results. Why? Because it's quality seed. Okay, keep that in mind when you're selecting your seed. And these guys need to be spaced further apart because cucumbers grow into massive plants. Right, so our tomatoes have been sown. Now we're going to come in with our cucumbers. Now these dudes I like to do 2 at a time, right? So I'll place 2 seeds right next to each other, and you want to sow them a little bit deeper than your tomatoes because the seeds are larger. Okay, and yeah, I'm only going to do 3 cucumber plants because cucumbers get huge. They become a big plant, and so for them too we're going to need stakes, right? We're going to have to stake them up, so we want to make sure we don't overcrowd this pot. So I'm only going to be working with 3 different cucumber plants over here, and as many of you will know, most cucumbers are climbers, so it's not like they're going to cover the whole pot, and we're going to make sure we train them to grow up and not out. Okay, so we don't want them spreading all over all the other plants. We want each dude to grow onto his own little stake, and that's going to make sure that there's enough air movement here for everybody. Okay, so there we go. Cucumbers are in, tomatoes are in, and this dude is called the Zena cucumber from Mayford. Important that you pick the right varieties if you want to make sure they're going to mature at the same time. Okay. Right, now we've got the lettuce coming in. 2 varieties of lettuce from Mayford, and they're going to give us those delicious leafy greens in our salad. Okay, now lettuce are very, very, very fine little seeds. Okay, again, I'm going to use the paper to show you how small these dudes are and how many you get in a packet. Guys, quite honestly, growing vegetables from seed is the best value for money. I mean, just look at that. Absolutely tiny, tiny, tiny little seeds, and so many of them. Could you imagine how much lettuce you're going to get from this? You couldn't eat it all, I promise you right now. And we're just going to select a very few of them, and that's what we're going to be planting, okay? Into our little summer salad bowl. Now, as you can see, here's 2 cucumber seeds over here. And we're going to select the strongest plant once they come up. So this will only be 1, and that will only be 1, and that will only be 1. And then if you have a look here, I'm not sure if you can see very clearly, there's a few tomato seeds we've sown already. Cool, so I'm just going to finish sowing some of my lettuce throughout the rest of the container. Right, so we finished sowing. We've got in some lettuce, we've got in some cucumbers, and we've got some tomatoes in. Right, next step is to cover this with vermiculite. Excuse the dog in the background, we are in a garden after all. Okay, so I've got here some vermiculite, and this we're just going to finely spread all over our seeds to cover them nicely. And what vermiculite does for you is it's a sterile medium which basically keeps your seeds moist, and it's very lightweight, which means that the seeds, as they germinate, can quite easily move it out of the way to grow into a plant. Right, so vermiculite is in, our seeds are firmed into place, and now what I like to do, well, what you need to do, is come in with some water, right? Now I like to use a little spray bottle like this. You get these nozzles all over the place, and it just fits on a normal water bottle, right? And I'm going to very evenly just water all these seeds into place. Now, as you can see, it's quite a large container. Okay, so I like to start off by using the spray bottle just so I know my seeds are firmly into place and they're not going to be moving. And then once I've done that, I'll come over this with a watering can. right? And I'll water this container until I see water coming out the bottom of it. It's really important to make sure that the entire container is well watered, okay? Now when you're saying seeds, that's not essential, just because obviously you're looking at the germination of the seeds, but when you're planting other plants it's really important. But I do like to do it because it just makes sure that the soil firms into place. Remember, all of this is new soil we've added into this container, and watering it well will make sure that that settles into place. Okay, so I'm just about done here. Got them all watered in nicely. This is looking lovely. And in no time, we're going to have little seeds popping up all over the place. Now remember, you want to keep your eye on this guy. Make sure, just do the normal finger test, just stick your finger into the soil, check the soil moisture, make sure your seeds remain moist, because obviously if you have seeds that start growing and you stop watering, it's not going to be so fun, right? And in no time, you're going to have an awesome, delicious summer salad bowl right at your kitchen doorway. And not only is it delicious, but it's a cool little feature that you can show all your friends and family when they come over for that lunch or dinner, especially a lovely lunch in the garden. This is always a cool feature to be showing off, guys. Grow your own sexy summer salad bowl and impress your friends and family, and have a great time and some free food while you're at it, guys. Until next time, I've been Carl the Garden Guy. Happy gardening, and may you enjoy your salad.